Okay, hey, what's up, everybody? Pastor Matt here again, looking at another Bible. I just posted one earlier, but we're going to do a couple of them today. This Bible right here that we're looking at is kind of an unusual creature, and I'm glad I got it, although I have to admit that I probably don't really need it. This is as much for your sake, doing the review, as it is for mine, having it in my collection. But this is the Ancient Modern Bible, the New King James Version, published by our friends at Thomas Nelson. Okay? Now, I like the New King James. I like it more and more as I get older. I like the fact that it reads very much like the King James and similarly to the ESV, which I commonly teach and preach from. So I love the New King James as kind of a happy medium between. This Bible, though, does have one unusual feature that we're going to talk about in just a second. But first of all, let's just go ahead and remark that this is a hardback edition. This is a cloth over board, so this is not a leather. It probably does not look that on the screen because it is not. It's a hardback, and the spine is rather simply stated with an impressed title right here, the Ancient Modern Bible, and the various logos that are relative to this text. Open this up. This is a paste-down liner, and it is paper, so I would expect that eventually, after some time of usage, that this would give way, but you'll probably have a long time before that happens. All right, well, let's go ahead and just peel open the cover here and see what we have. We have, in fact, the New King James in a single column paragraph style with some colored section markers. The sections are denotated in a colored golden font, which makes it very attractive. The font is not super huge, and it's not super small either, but it's definitely not the biggest font I've ever read. But it is the new comfort style font that Thomas Nelson is using these days, and it is a very readable font. So what's the deal with this Bible? Why is it called the Ancient Modern Bible? How is it ancient and how is it modern? Well, the real feature to this Bible is in the study notes that are in the margins of both sides of the page. Essentially what you have is commentaries from a whole host of interesting writers, both historical, both modern, pastors, theologians, monks, saints of various kinds. And I will say that the panoply of writers or contributors to these notes is extraordinarily diverse. You're going to see everything from Puritan commentators like Matthew Henry, to reformers like John Calvin and Martin Luther, to contemporary or nearly contemporary authors such as Billy Graham, Warren Wiersbe, St. Augustine. I'm just going to randomly point out a bunch of them. Clement of Rome, Chrysostom, Charles Spurgeon. You do have some nice book introductions, though, I will say that. Each book gets a couple-page spread giving you author background, some detailed information, so it does have some pretty helpful stuff to it. Spurgeon again, Ambrose, Gregory of Nyssa. You get the idea. It's a wide variety. So whether you are evangelical or Reformed or Roman Catholic, here's Athanasius. You're going to find some people that agree with you and some people that don't. And I think that's kind of the charm of this particular Bible, is to have these notes. I would call them more devotional or inspirational notes than I would a purely technical commentary. So this Bible does not pretend to be any sort of theological or technical commentary on the text, but they do make for interesting anecdotal comparisons, and certainly insightful to read the thoughts of the saints who've gone before us, who lived before we did, and often have very interesting insights into the biblical passages. Okay, jumping to the end of this. Oh, by the way, it does have some pretty cool highlights for some of the contributors. So, for instance, Ignatius of Antioch, here's a whole page that describes who he is, and it's like that for quite a few of the writers. Let's go to the end, because this book actually has some cool stuff in the back. Several cool items. You get some essays by some contemporary theologians. Some of them are of devotional quality. For instance, Meditating on His Word by Tim Keller, PCA pastor. Creation and the Fall by Daniel Mars. Let's see, there's some other interesting stuff here. Article on the Church various doctrinal articles. And then you have this, and I appreciate this as a Reformed guy myself. You have the creeds, you have the Apostles' Creed, the Nicene Creed, the definition of Chalcedon, Athanasian Creed, and then you have the whole list of all the sources, both ancient and modern, that contributed to the stuff in this book. I thought there was something else here that I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, well there's all this artwork in the back. This is kind of unusual to have these glossy, nice pieces of art. I love art. Don't necessarily expect or want that in my Bible necessarily. I'd rather see it at an art show or a gallery. But it's kind of cool to have some of this, and then you have some good maps. I thought for sure that there was a reading plan in here. Maybe I'm just skipping it right now. Let's see here. I hate to just ramble on. Let the video lengthen as I go here. Pretty sure there's a reading plan. Could be wrong on that. Anyways, here's the Ancient Modern Bible, New King James. I will post a link to Amazon in the description of this video. If this at all interests you, go check that out. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.